Join us for a new season of the MS Gym podcast and learn from MS veterans and newbies alike as they share their own stories and how the MS Gym has shaped their journey towards healing. Hello, MS Gym family. So glad you could join us for another episode of the MS Gym podcast. I have so enjoyed getting to know our members a little bit better. And today we are once again traveling over the seas to talk with Sarah. So Sarah, thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Okay, you're welcome.
So Sarah, where are you joining us from?
I live in the northwest of the UK. It is a town called Lytham in Lancashire.
Perfect. So, Sarah, obviously this is the MS Gym podcast. So can you tell us a little bit about how MS showed up in your life? How did you suddenly figure out something's not quite right?
Okay, when I was 11, I was doing cross-country running at school and I twisted my ankle and I had it looked at and they put me on plaster and nothing ever really helped. So I was always struggling with that. I carried on at school. I just lived my life as you live your life, and that was it, really. And then when I was 13, so again, a couple of years later, had a Bell's palsy. That was just a facial palsy. So my eye was a bit wonky and what it was. And then it all went away. It all went away. I finished school. I did my A levels. I did a degree. I did some of it in Germany. I worked in Germany, so it's quite an exciting.
For sure. That sounds very exciting.
It was quite exciting. So that was that. And then I went on to university from that and I did German and marketing, and that was quite exciting.
What drew you to Germany then?
I was always really good at languages at school.
Okay.
I used to, we always had sort of foreign students to stay at home during the summer holidays and that sort of thing. So I was always interested in people who came to stay. And we had French and we had Spanish and we had German and we had all sorts. I just really like languages.
Were you in Germany when you started having symptoms again, or were you back home at that point?
No, no. In Germany, I didn't really have any symptoms at all. And what else? Yeah, then I came home from uni and then
Okay.
I went away traveling and I went to South America on my own. And
Oh
it
my
was,
goodness, you are an adventurer.
I just traveled about. I started in Mexico and went down through Costa Rica and that sort of place. And then I went to Peru. I taught English and I worked in an orphanage as well. I didn't work there, I just volunteered. But
Okay.
it was super. I really, really enjoyed it. It was just a really good time.
Wow. It sounds like you had many adventures in your probably your early 20s. You got a lot of
Yeah.
life experience. And what drew you back then to the UK?
Um, Zane and I think my husband too. I
Okay.
kind of knew, but I didn't know. So that's what happened really. I
That's
think, and I thought, yeah, I've done traveling and really I want to start to do something sensible rather than just messing about.
well, you know what? You might say it like that, but I'm sure those children that you taught actually you were doing something very kind and generous in that. I think you were
Yeah,
contributing to other people. So I don't think that it was in whatever the word is, it still was sensible that you were giving to other people.
well, yeah, and I enjoyed it, and I, I, I really, really enjoyed doing it, and it's made me who I am now, I suppose.
Mm,
But
that's
yeah,
awesome. So you did all this traveling, you did volunteer teaching, you went back to the UK and I'm assuming you got married or
uh,
started you kept dating.
yeah, yeah, we kept sort of dating, and I couldn't find a job in the UK. It
Okay.
was really tough to find work, and my my husband, my mum and dad live locally, so that's quite nice.
Okay.
And his parents have lived here forever. He wasn't. Yes, he was born in Blackpool, fairly locally to us now. And my mum was, obviously, and Zen was born in Blackpool as well. So there
Okay.
was still quite a draw to come home, I think.
Okay. For sure. It sounds like you were the adventurous and the travel that you had
Well,
the travel bug.
yes, I did a little bit. Zane and I have travelled quite a lot
Oh,
recently,
have you?
not
Okay.
recently, but in the past. So yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. So you're back home in the UK. When did you start experiencing other symptoms?
Um, I was work. That's what happened. I didn't get a job in the UK. I joined a business with my mum and dad. So it's a family catering business in the
Okay.
UK. That was hard work. Physically, it was hard, really hard. It was 7 days a week, late nights, all the stuff. So, and you had to do everything from talking to the customers to making the batter, cooking the fish,
Okay.
taking the money, doing the shopping. All it
Oh,
was
yeah.
hard work. And then I just started being really, really weak in my legs and hips. And it was just too hard because I was working in a hot kitchen as well. So
Mm,
that was not a nice place to be on
no.
your feet the whole time, lifting things. So that was that. So I just got diagnosed with MS basically. I was about 28, I think.
28. Okay.
Yeah,
So probably at
quite.
the time, if you weren't diagnosed it, now we know that heat can really aggravate MS and make things worse. So if you were working in a hot kitchen, like no wonder your weakness would be amplified, that things would just be getting worse and worse in the heat.
And it was all the things, of course, because I was on my feet and
Absolutely.
walking badly and lifting and carrying. Oh, are you?
Okay. So 28 diagnosed. What happened after that? Did your doctor put you on medication? Did you decide not to
Mm,
work? What was the next step for you?
yeah, I did take Copaxone for a bit, and I suppose I don't know whether it helped or not. And I wasn't working. It was a family business. We just sold the business.
Okay.
So that because my mum and dad are, I don't know, in their 80s now. So
Okay, that makes sense.
it was quite a while back.
For sure. No, that makes sense.
Um,
So what did the next few years look like after your diagnosis?
I was not in a good way. I walked really badly, really, really badly. I struggled. Yeah, I think I got a wheelchair almost as soon as we got married. So that. And I walk in with two sticks, but I didn't move well at all. And I just gradually got more and more disabled. Um, and I had HSCT in 2017. So that's 7 years ago now. Yeah, I had HSCT in Mexico. And I was having treatment, but it was a really good time. It was enjoyable. I went with my husband, and
Okay.
it was just nice to be in a
In
sort of common environment. We weren't in a hotel, we were in a flat. So we were just living
okay.
a life for 4 weeks, even though I
Wow.
was drug someone.
So you went and you had your stem cell done. What came of that? Like, do you feel like it maybe slowed things down a bit? Did you see any help, any stop to your progression?
Um, yes,
Okay.
yes. I couldn't do Trevor's exercises now pre HSCT. No way. Well, I might have done, but I'd have been really frustrated and cross that I couldn't do it, and it would
Okay.
have been like that. So, yeah. post HSCT, I'm an awful lot better. My eyesight is a huge amount better. My tremors are a huge amount better. My walking's quite a lot better.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I work hard though, and Trev really makes a big difference.
That's wonderful to hear. How did you go about finding the MS gym then?
From HSCT.
Okay. Other people, well, 2017, because the MS gym started in
2017.
2017. So
Yeah,
so
that's when
you found it kind of right around the
I
time.
found it quite early.
That's great. That's wonderful. So
I'm still here. And I've now got a Mollii suit. Have you heard of those?
yes, I heard. So from what I understand, a Molly suit is like well, I guess it's a suit that you put on and it helps combat some spasticity in your body, and
Yeah,
it
it's a bit like a huge giant tens machine. Is that
okay.
like a wetsuit, really? It looks like a
Okay.
wetsuit, but it's got tens machines at different areas of the.
Okay.
And I think that's fantastic.
That's
I
great.
think we
Do you
play
wear it?
together.
Do you wear it all the time?
No, no. I do 1 hour sessions 3 times a week, probably.
Okay.
And when I'm doing my Mollii suit things, I combine it with doing Trevor stuff and other things. So it's useful, very useful, I think.
That's great. So does it helps with like arm movements or leg movements? Like it helps you bend limbs easier?
I think it's a bit like the hyperbaric oxygen chambers. Have you heard of those?
I've heard of them, but I don't have any personal
No,
experience at all with
no,
it.
I don't either. But I know in the olden days, the MSs around here definitely used hyperbaric oxygen. And it they say, I think they just get a feeling of elation, of joy. It just makes me really clear.
Really? That's
Yeah,
interesting that it gives you mental clarity. Huh.
absolutely. And my eyesight, just like, oh, you look around and it's like, how dirty is my house? How can this be so dusty that I don't see it? But when I've done my Mollii suit, I can see things.
That is so interesting. I've only heard very small snippets about the Molly soup, but I never knew that it had those kind of effects. For some reason I thought it had to do specifically with leg spasticity and walking, but
No, 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 no. It's like
that's
a wet.
fantastic.
It
Okay.
definitely helps your core for sure. And I've had mine updated because I think I was getting to the stage where doing deep breathing stuff, um, I could almost feel like my Mollii suit was working before I'd connected the things, connected the power. So turned it
Okay.
on basically. So just having the physical um, tightness of wearing a tight suit with things, and it's skin on skin. You
Yes,
don't
for
want
sure.
to move it, so it's you can really feel it, and I can feel that my breath activates the. I don't know. I can just feel every movement in my body. It's bizarre.
No, that's wonderful.
Not bizarre. It's wonderful.
So my question is then, so you said for 3 times a week, is it something that you rent or is it something that's in your house or
No,
is
I've
that the
bought I've bought one
oh,
deliberately. I bought one
you
because I
bought one?
thought
So the protocol is just 3 hours a week at this point?
Yes, to start with, they did it a bit more, but I think my body's got used to the sensation of the suit. So
Okay.
I think I can sort of activate it, and my body is so much better afterwards. I can stand up to feed the dogs.
Wow,
I can
yeah,
stand up and do my trousers up, do my zip and my button, and do that in standing. And that's like, oh, so exciting.
that's wonderful. Yeah, I guess it's a newer technology, but that'll be exciting
I,
over time to see how it plays out. Like I'm in Canada, and I don't imagine that that's approved in Canada. Canada seems to be behind in a lot of things. Uh,
yeah,
but that's exciting though, that it works so well for you and that the after effects, like you said, you benefit even after you take the suit off.
I do. And it's the combination of things that make a big difference in my life. And I've always been determined and been a bit sort of outrageous about certain things. But just going out with the dogs, we live in a really nice place and I've got a fast chair. So it means that MS is not managing me, I'm
Hmm.
managing it by getting all these things together that make a big difference to my life.
So the Mollii suit is one of the tools that you have.
Yeah,
It sounds like the MS gym is another tool you have.
yeah,
Getting out and enjoying, obviously your dogs give you a lot of
yeah,
joy.
yeah.
And you said you have a scooter or power chair to
Yeah,
allow
I've
you
got a
out.
blow chair that
Okay.
is super, really
That's
good.
great. That's
And
great.
I've got a little power chair that I use when I go to gigs with Zenin, so I can be in the top deck on the
Oh, good.
platforms and whatnot. And
Oh,
my big chair has got a raisy seat, so I can be up on top. So when they're at the encore with their hands in the air, I can be up there as well.
oh, that sounds fantastic. That's great. So when you were diagnosed with MS, had you heard of other people? Like
Yeah,
you said you were
yeah, yeah.
28, but was it
My my grandmother's cousin had MS.
okay?
My father's cousin had MS. So there's been a bit of MS in the family.
So you had a lot of exposure to
Yeah, yeah,
MS already.
yeah.
So it wasn't anything new. It was because you have family members and obviously older family members. Was that diagnosis like really scary for you, or how did you first feel about getting it?
I wasn't exactly happy.
No, of
I,
course.
I didn't I didn't think it was MS to start with, and then I thought, oh, maybe it is. And you just put it out of your mind, don't you? You don't want it to be MS, so you don't think it could be. It is what it is. You just got
Okay.
to make the best of what you can do.
For sure. Now, what does your support look like? Obviously, your dogs can't offer you too much physical support, but they're a huge part of your
I,
life.
I used to
And
have I used to have an assistance dog,
oh,
and
you did have okay. You did have an assistance dog. Okay.
mine are not capable of being assistance dogs.
No,
They
the
just
ones you have now. No. Oh, okay. They're too chatty. Okay. So you have your dogs, you have your husband. Do you have any other friends or family? Like do you have a support network near where you are? What does your community look like for you?
I've just got some friends. If I go out in Lytham, I've got some friends that I meet for coffee, or if we go to theatre in Lytham and you see people there. So it's just a friendly place, I suppose. Mum
Okay.
and Mum and Dad don't live far away, so I can
Okay.
easily get to them. I can go there on a Friday lunchtime. Normally, not today, but normally.
Okay. Okay, that's nice. It's nice having friends and family nearby. And obviously everyone's very understanding of any accommodations that you need. And it sounds like you have some great power assistants there to help you get out there and do what you want to do.
Determined to do what I want to do.
That's fantastic. That's what we all need to do. But it's great that you are determined because there's a lot of people that when the challenges come, they just kind of
Correct.
isolate and they don't go out and they don't live their life. But it sounds like with all your years of doing travel and being on your own, like it's part of your own DNA. It's part of who you are as a person. Like you're gonna keep living even if it looks a little bit different. Do you have any plans now to travel or upcoming events?
We are going to Wales next month, so for a few days. So
Okay, that's great.
um,
Is that a plane trip? Is it a driving
no,
trip?
no, 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 it's a shortish driving trip.
What do you do when maybe things feel harder for you? Like when you have like bad MS days or you just feel kind of down in the dumps, how do you move from a really difficult space to a more positive one for yourself?
Mhm. Going outside, I think, walking the dogs out in the wind and the rain.
Oh, in the rain. Well,
Well,
I guess
it
that's a hazard of
rains a
living in
lot.
the
It
UK.
rains in Canada too.
Pardon?
It rains in Canada
Yeah, but
too.
not like the UK. But yeah, no, we get more snow, but not yet, thankfully.
No.
So being out in nature, being out with your dogs, like
Yeah,
that
going out
really
for
lifts your
coffee.
spirits.
Yeah, going out for coffee, just socializing, being out and about, going to concerts with Zayn when he's singing his head off. And
Oh,
they're all that. I've got ear earplugs.
okay. Do you find actually that they're really loud noise? Do you find the crowds and the loud noise, does that aggravate your symptoms? Like do you get overwhelmed?
No, I
No,
don't think I
okay.
do. I don't think I do. But I
Mm.
go in my little chair and it's still quite fast. And I just put the same, had a bike shop. So it got bike lights on my
Oh,
wheelchairs. And he likes messing about with them.
okay. So
Once them at my
you've got like a
if I
hybrid
have the
chair
lights
then.
on, I just whiz round and get out of the way. So yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Now you said you were diagnosed in like the late I have here diagnosed in 1989.
Yeah, that's it.
You've had MS for a long time now, like
It's
35
about,
years. 35 years, that's a long time. You're like
yeah.
an MS veteran. And the landscape looks a lot different from when you were diagnosed. Like you said, you were on a Capaxone, and that
It,
probably was the only drug in the late
it was.
80s.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was.
So now for people that are diagnosed, there are like up to like 20 drugs. I don't even know the amount, but there's at least 20 different disease modifying therapies. There's
And
also
I think a lot of them are more trouble than they're worth.
the side effects. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I
There's
don't
a
agree.
lot. There's a lot
No,
of debate and because a lot of them are new, they don't know exactly what's gonna happen
no,
long term with
no.
them. So
I you'd say I went to an MS meeting, a local MS meeting, and it was a dinner thing, so we all went there. But the people there were nowhere near as disabled as they used to be when I used to go in the olden days.
mm,
I just noticed that. And they're obviously all taking some DMDs, but I think a lot of it's a waste of
mm. Choosing medication, it's such a personal choice.
time. Yeah,
And
it is.
the
It is.
thing is that everyone's MS is so different.
I
And
don't,
I've had the same thing. I've met people that have done the same treatments that I have done. And I started out in much better shape and they were worse off and we did the same drugs and it switched. I got much worse and I progressed and they got so much better. So everyone's body is so different and we all respond so differently.
it
So
is. It is.
there's no way of saying which medication would work.
No,
And maybe some people
no.
would do better without medication at all. Like there's no hard and fast rule. It really is a snowflake disease that everyone's
Yes,
going to
it is.
respond differently.
And
No,
it's how you manage it, isn't it? It's how you live your life with what you've got.
yeah, that's true. And that's definitely the challenge. You know, it's looking sometimes it's helpful knowing that everyone's different and everyone's disease looks different. And sometimes it's hard because we can get into, you know, to the comparison thing and thinking that. But I think what you're saying though, you need to get out there and live your life regardless. What other advice would you give to someone who is maybe newly diagnosed? Like what would you say? Because you've got a lot of years behind you with this diagnosis.
I would say get out and live your life
Hmm.
and be as active as you can be as social as you can be as happy as you can be.
Well, thank you, Sarah, again for taking the time to chat with me today.
Thank you very much.
Be sure to check out our show notes to learn more about this episode and how to connect with our online community.